Next, solution of transportation problem. The optimal solution of a transportation problem consists of following two steps. So optimal solution will be obtained in two steps. First step, find an initial basic feasible solution. Initial basic feasible solution is obtained in the first step. Then second step, to get optimal solution, improve the initial basic feasible solution obtained in step 1 until no further decrease in the transportation cost is possible. No further decrease in the transportation cost is possible. So we have to improve initial basic feasible solution until no further decrease in the transportation cost is possible. That is when we get minimum transportation cost. Now, there are three methods to find initial solution. Initial feasible solution. So first method is northwest corner rule. Let us see how to find initial feasible solution by northwest corner rule. Step 1. Start with the cell 1, 1. So if we have a transportation problem, say it is 4/3 transportation problem. Now this direction is taken as north. This will be south, then this will be west, and this will be east. So north and west corner. So if it is north, this is west, this corner is called northwest corner, and it is a cell 1, 1. So we start with this cell and allocate their maximum possible quantity. So looking at the supply available and the demand, we allocate maximum possible quantity in this cell. Then move to the right hand cell. So from this cell there are two possibilities. Either you can move to the right hand cell 1, 2, or we can move to the down cell 2, 1. So in what situation we move to the cell 1, 2, and in what situation we move to the cell 2, 1. So move to the right hand cell 1, 2 if there is still any available supply left. So after making an allocation in the cell 1, 1, if till any supply left here for this factory F1. This is a quantity B1, B2, B3, and here we have A1, A2, A3, A4 supply available. So out of this available supply, we allocate maximum possible quantity in the cell 1, 1, and if still there is some supply left, we have to move to the right hand cell 1, 2. And if there is no supply left, we have to move to the down cell 2, 1. So otherwise move to the down cell 2, 1 and allocate maximum possible quantity in this cell. Repeat step 2 again and continue until all the available quantity is exhausted, that is finished, and all the requirements are satisfied. So continue this process until all the available supply exhausted and all the requirements satisfied. So we have to move either to the cell on the right hand side or we have to move to the down cell and allocate maximum possible quantity in that cell. Continue this until all the available quantity exhausted and all the requirements satisfied. So this is a northwest corner rule. Let us solve one example on this method. So this is the example. Obtain initial feasible solution of a transportation problem whose cost and requirement matrix. We know that this matrix gives the cost of transporting one unit from this factory to these warehouses. So this is a cost matrix and requirement table. So requirements are also given at these warehouses. Quantity of goods available at these 4 factories is also given. And we have to find initial feasible solution of this transportation problem. So let us solve this example using northwest corner rule. So this is a problem. First row is 274. This is 274, 331, 331, 547, 547, 162. And supply available is 58714, 58714, and requirement at these 3 warehouses is 7918. So 7918. We want total supply available is equal to the total requirement. So what is the supply available here? 14 plus 7, 21 plus 8, 29 plus 5, 34. And what is the requirement? 7 plus 9, 16, 16 plus 18, 34. So total quantity produced is equal to the total quantity required. So this is called a balanced transportation problem. So let us solve this transportation problem. Let us find initial feasible solution of this transportation problem using northwest corner rule. So we start with the cell 1, 1. It is a northwest corner. So the method is northwest corner rule. So we begin with the cell 1, 1. We allocate maximum possible quantity in this cell. Now there are 4 factories, F1, F2, F3, F4, 3 warehouses, W1, W2, W3. Supply of products available at these 4 factories is given So 5 is the quantity available at the factory F1. 8 is the quantity available at the factory F2. 7 is the quantity available at factory F3. 14 is the quantity of goods available at this factory F4. And requirements at these three warehouses. Requirement at W1 is 7. Requirement of W2 for these goods is 9, and the requirement at this warehouse for these goods is 18. And 274,331,547,162. These numbers are the costs of transporting 1 unit of goods from this factory to these warehouses. Let us find initial feasible solution by northwest corner rule. So we begin with the cell 1, 1, that is northwest corner. So what is the supply available? Supply available is 5 and the requirement is 7. So the step is allocate maximum possible quantity in this cell. How many units are available? 5. How many units are required? 7. So maximum possible quantity we can assign is 5. We cannot assign more than 5 units in this cell. So out of 7, 5 units are transported from the factory F1. At the warehouse W1, original requirement is 7. Out of 7, 5 units are transported. So now the requirement at this warehouse is 2. Now either move to the right hand cell 1, 2, or we have to move to the down cell 2, 1. Now what happened? Whatever quantity is available at this factory F1, we have transported it to the warehouse W1. So no supply left here. So when no supply left, we move to the down cell 2, 1. So from this cell, we move to the down cell because no supply is available at F1. And at the warehouse W1, total requirement is 7. Out of 7, 5 units are transported. Now still there is a requirement of 2 units. So we will transport the remaining 2 units from the second factory now, right? So available quantity at the factory F2 is 8 and the requirement at this warehouse is 2. So allocate maximum possible quantity in this cell. So 2 is the requirement, 8 is available. So maximum we can allocate is 2 because only 2 units are required. So out of 8, 2 units are transported to the warehouse W1. Now 6 units left at the factory F2. Now the requirement at W1 satisfied and there is some quantity left at the factory F2. So when the supply is available at the factory, we move to the right hand cell. Now 6 units are available at F2. So we move to the right hand side cell. Now this is a column number 2 for warehouse W2. What is the requirement at second warehouse? Requirement is 9 and available quantity is 6. So we have to allocate maximum possible quantity in this cell. So available quantity is 6, requirement is 9. Out of 9, we can allocate 6 units from this factory. All 6 units are allocated, so no supply left now. Out of 9, 6 are allocated, so still there is a requirement of 3 units. Now when no supply left, in that case, we have to move to the down cell. So at the factory F2, all 8 units are transported. Out of 8, 2 are transported to the warehouse W1 and remaining 6 are transported to the warehouse W2. Now no supply left. So in this case, we will move to the down cell. So this is a cell in which we have to make an allotment. So allocate maximum possible quantity in this cell now. What is the requirement? Requirement at this warehouse is now 3, and how many quantity of goods available? 7 units are available at this factory F3. So out of 7, maximum we can allocate 3 because 3 is the only requirement. So we allocate 3 units out of 7. So still 4 units left, and whenever some quantity left at the factory, we move to the right hand cell. Now there is no requirement. Total requirement is 9 and all 9 units are transported. Out of 9, 6 are transported from F2 and 3 are transported from F3. So since still there is some quantity left, so we move to the right hand cell and allocate maximum possible quantity in this cell. Now what is the requirement and supply available? Supply available is 4 units and 18 units are required. So allocate maximum possible quantity in this cell. Maximum we can allocate 4 units because 4 units are available. So out of 18, 4 units are transported. Still there is a requirement of 14 units. Now no supply left. Whenever no supply left, we move to the down cell. That is, we go to the next factory. Now what is the requirement? What is the supply available? Supply available is 14. Requirement is also 14. So maximum we can transport 14 units. So supply exhausted and requirement also satisfied. In this way, all the available supply is exhausted and all the requirements satisfied. Now let us write down initial feasible solution by this method, northwest corner rule. Now how many quantity of goods transported from F1 to W1? So the symbol we are using is in this cell X11, that is X represent quantity of goods transported from first factory to first warehouse. So how many units are transported from F1 to W1? 5 units. So X11 is equal to 5 units. At the factory F1, only 5 units are available and all the 5 units are transported to W1. And what about W2, W3? No unit from F1 is transported to W2. So this variable X12, quantity transported from F1 to second warehouse is 0. Similarly, X13 is 0. Now second row, quantity of goods transported from F2 to W1, X21 is 2 and X22, this from second factory to second warehouse. How many units are transported? 6 units are transported from F2 to W3. No unit of good is transported. So X23 is 0. Then third row, how many units are transported from F3 to W1, 3 to W1, no unit is transported. From F3 to W2, 3 units are transported. X, 3, 2. Quantity transported from third factory to second warehouse is 3. And X, 3, 3. That is quantity transported from third factory to third warehouse is 4. And the last row in this cell, that is no unit is transported from F4 to W1. 4, 1 is 0. X4, 2 is also 0. And how many units are transported from F4 to W3? F4 to W3, 14 units are transported. These are called positive allocations. How many positive allocations are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what is M? Number of rows are 4. Number of columns are 3 minus 1. 4 plus 3 minus 1 is 6. So there are 6 positive allocation. Exactly m plus n minus 1 positive allocations in this solution. Now, is it a feasible solution? It is a feasible solution because row sum restrictions and column sum restrictions are satisfied by this solution. So what is a row sum restriction? Quantity of goods transported from the first factory to the 3 warehouses, 5 plus 0 plus 0, 5 units transported from F1 to W1, 0 units transported from F1 to W2, 0 units transported from F1 to W3, and this sum is equal to the supply available at the first factory. So this is what we say row sum restriction. Satisfied. Similarly, for the second row, how many units are transported from F2 to W1? 2 units. F2 to W2, 6 units. And F2 to W3, 0 units. So total 8 units are transported and it is equal to the supply available at F2. So this, what we say, row sum restrictions are satisfied. In the third row, 3 plus 4 is 7 and 7 is the quantity available at F3. So again, row sum restriction satisfied. In the fourth row, 0 plus 0 plus 14, 14 units are transported and it is equal to the supply available at F3. So in this way, row sum restriction satisfied. Similarly, column sum restrictions are also satisfied. So what is the column sum restriction? The total quantity of goods received at W1 is equal to 5 units are received from F1, 2 units are received from F2, 0 units are received from F3 and 0 units are received from F4. So 5 units plus 2 units plus 0 plus 0. 5 units are received from F1, 2 units are received from F2, 0 units are received from F3 and 0 units are received from F4 to the first warehouse is equal to the requirement at this first warehouse is 7. So is equal to 7. So 5 plus 2 is equal to 7, 6 plus 3 is equal to 9 and 4 plus 14 equal to 18. So column sum restriction, row sum restriction and column sum restrictions both satisfied. So in the mathematical formulation of transportation problem, equation 2 and 3 are satisfied. Row sum restrictions and column sum restrictions satisfied. So it is a feasible solution. Initial feasible solution. This is an initial feasible solution. Since it satisfies row sum restrictions and column sum restrictions. Also, how many positive allocations are there? 6, or exactly m plus n minus 1 positive allocations in the solution. Six positive allocations in the solution. So when there are exactly m plus n minus 1 positive allocations, this feasible solution is called basic feasible solution. Therefore, it is a basic feasible solution. Also, let us see whether it is a non-degenerate basic feasible solution or degenerate solution. Now what we will do, we will try to join these positive allocations. These are the cell x11 is 5, x21 is 2, x22 is 6, x32 is 3, then x33 is 4 and x43 is 40. Now these 6 variables are called basic variables. These are called basic variables. And other variables are called non-basic variables. And these 6 cells, cell 11, cell 21, cell 22, cell 32, cell 33 and cell 43. These 6 cells are called basic cell and corresponding cells are called basic cells. and other cells are non-basic cells. So these 6 are basic variable and the corresponding 6 cells are basic cell. Now whether it is a non-degenerate solution or degenerate solution. Now there are exactly m plus n minus 1, that is 6 positive allocation. What we will do, we will try to join these cells using horizontal and vertical lines. So if you join these two cells using a vertical line, then we join this cell here, then we join the next basic cell, then we join the next basic cell, then we join the last basic cell. So what we find, if we try to join these basic cells using horizontal and vertical lines only, or if you try to join these 6 positive allocations using horizontal and vertical lines, loop does not form, circuit does not form. So therefore, it is a non-degenerate basic feasible solution. So what we have seen, that these 6 positive allocations are at independent position. That is, loop does not form by joining these 6 positive allocation. Therefore, it is a non-degenerate basic feasible solution. These positive allocations are at independent positions. That is, by joining these 6 positive allocations using horizontal and vertical lines, circuit or loop does not form. So these positive allocations are at independent position. Therefore, it is a non-degenerate basic feasible solution. It is a basic feasible solution. Now we say that it is a non-degenerate. Basic feasible solution. So in this way, we find initial basic feasible solution using northwest corner rule. So we begin with the cell 1, 1, which is northwest corner, and allocate maximum possible quantity in this cell. Then whenever supply left at the factory, we move to the right hand side, and whenever supply exhausted, no units left, so we move to the down cell. Repeat this process until all the supply exhausted and all the requirement satisfied.